Hi guys, this is my rubber tree, the variegated Tineke, or it's also called a rubber plant, or technically Ficus Elastica Tineke. And the Tineke is the one with the cream or white and green leaves. And there are actually three trees in this 6-inch pot. And the reason I combined all three of them is because they're really, really tiny and they can stay in this pot together. They were clipped and propagated for about over 4 months, 4 to 5 months. They were on a heat pad, and don't worry, everything that I used when they were clippings, what I used to water, all that stuff will be down in the description section, just like all my social media accounts. So if you want to check that out, go right ahead. Also, what I do use now, since she has roots now, and those are all going to be in the description section as well. I hope you enjoyed the rest of my video. You can hit the like, subscribe, and of course the bell so you're notified every single time I do upload a new video. So when I got these, when I clipped them, I think they had at least one leaf on there. That's all I can remember. They had at least one leaf. And this sits in my kitchen window. My kitchen window can be very bright, and in my kitchen window, I did add in a shelf, so I'm going to try and also link that down below if you guys are curious what I use. Because there is no obstruction in front of the window, I think it actually is probably, it gets like the most of the eastern side on the first floor because of that. I water her every 7 days, and I have watered her yeah, every 7 days. I'm sorry, I got a little confused in the watering of the clippings and right now because I did just move her less than a month ago. I did just move her into all these three little babies. I moved them into one pot. So I'm getting a little confused because of the clippings, it was a completely different system that I used. But I will try to put everything down there, what I used for the rootless clippings for propagation and what I water with her now. And what I use and all of that good stuff. So this is just regular potting soil. From what I've noticed, rubber trees and ficus in general is a very hardy plant. So if you're a new plant mom, plant dad, plant parent, what I would recommend, ficus is really one of those hardier plants. They're very easy to care for me. I have experimented in the fact that I let the water sit in the saucer and I let it sit overnight. And the next day, they're not yellowing, they're not dying. I mean, I take it off, but the most I've ever done was just let it sit there for maybe 12 hours. I mean, almost 24 hours. I haven't really tried more than that, especially for a Ficus Tineke. What I have noticed too is if they get like a ton of light, like eastern light, they do go through the water quick, which is normal. I mean, that's a typical plant itself. And if you want more variegation, like this is getting more variegation due to the fact that it was getting more light. When I clipped them, and this is all green, this was so tiny and it was fighting over a bigger mother plant because this was a new growth from the mother plant. And the mother plant was already established and about, I would say, like 3 feet, close to 3 feet, like 2 to 3 feet tall. So this particular, new growth wasn't really getting as much light. And that's why this is more green than white or cream. Again, she sits in an eastern facing window. Right now, I am watering her every 7 days, and it is regular potting soil. I wouldn't really recommend any kind of soil to use that is not draining and is moisture control. I don't recommend that at all. In my personal experience, in my environment, um, those have actually killed plants for me, like it rotted, because moisture control can actually just it just didn't work out for me, is what I'm trying to say. So I can't recommend that because with my personal experience, it didn't work out. I wouldn't really recommend like cactus soil and all of that because that doesn't really retain that much moisture. And ficus plants really do love it, but they don't want to sit in it, if that makes any sense. Like, they're not a swamp plant, but they do enjoy frequent watering, like a regular watering. Once a week is good, depending on the size, obviously, and the size of your pot. If you have like this plant this size, I wouldn't recommend you only put this one in this 6-inch pot, because you're going to have a chance of underwatering and overwatering at the same time. That's why I crowded this up into 3 different plants. I don't even know once she is established and they're about a foot tall or 2 feet tall, if I will split them up. I don't know that yet, but we'll see in my vlog, whatever I update, what I decide at that moment. Again, everything that I use to water with them will be down in the description section. I use good draining all-purpose potting soil by Schultz. I water for this particular plant right now. The current schedule is every 7 days. Everything that I add in the water will be then in the description section, and including the dose that I use or the measurements that I use. She sits in front of an east-facing window. I've never had a problem of her burning due to that. I have never put this in front of a west-facing window. Everywhere that I looked, they can really burn due to the early, because west-facing window, the intensity is much more than an eastern-facing window. A western-facing window will have like that midday sun, kind of. Not as strong as a southern-facing window, but it will still have that, and that's the part that can get them to burn. I would avoid a south-facing window. The south-facing window, regardless of how far or indirect you're going to give her, you have a high chance of it burning. I remember there was a person in one of my plant groups, she had a Tineke, and she put it about a little over 10 feet away, I would say, from a south-facing window, and it was burning. And I explained it to her. Initially, she was just like getting defensive, and she said something like, but it's 10 feet away from the window. And I said, it has nothing to do in how far the window is. It's because of the direction. This plant cannot tolerate a southern-facing window because of the midday sun. You're going to have to look for an eastern-facing window if you want it there. Maybe try a western-facing window, but if she still keeps burning, I would suggest keep her a few feet away from a western-facing window until she stops burning. So just please pay attention to your plants. Make sure you hit the right light requirement, soil requirement, water requirement. Also, you can download some free direction app, and that's how I really used with mine. And that's how I figured out which window was what light it was getting. So here she is, and she is just, such a beauty. I love it. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, or anything to do with this particular plant, let me know down in the comment section. I always love hearing from you guys, so do that. If there's anything else you just want to chit-chat, let me know down in the comment section as well. Thank you guys so much for the wonderful, encouraging words. Thank you guys so much for being supportive. And thank you guys so much for just being wonderful people. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.